Hey crafters, it's me, Jen Evers with Quality Crafts, and welcome to Free Play Friday. I'm so excited because I told you last time I was on video that we were going to be using quick cure clay. And if you have not seen this stuff, it's going to blow your mind. So you don't have to bake this stuff. You don't have to wait hours for this stuff to work. It is practically instant. I mean, it's going to heat up, obviously. Ice. You see me? Could you see me in the little tiny box that says preview? I'm just curious because it shows me this little box now that says now it says live. Before it said preview. I don't know. I was just curious if you could see me. Anyway, I digress. If you're new to my channel, welcome to Free Play Friday, where we play around with stuff that's new and cool, or maybe it's something that you've seen before, but maybe it'll give you a reminder of stuff that you forgot that you could do or had sitting around or whatever. This is a relatively new product though, called Quick Cure Clay. Kiln free, K-I-L-N. You don't have to put this in a kiln, you just need a heat gun. I put a bunch of stuff on the table here that I think I'm going to be using. I'm going to use a separate mat because I'm going to be doing a sale afterwards, so I want to make sure that I have something that I can just remove quickly and get the mess out of the way. This is one of those silicone that will, resist heat, because this clay is going to get up to 350 degrees. You did not see me. Okay, I just want to make sure. Yay, Jill, you made it home. I got a crafting knife because I might be wanting to cut this. Just make sure that I'm going to give you a few little tips and stuff before we start. This comes in 2 different colors. I feel like I'm all over the place, but I'm so excited. I just want to dive in, and I'm going, okay, I got to dial it back, Jen. This comes in a white, and an off-whitish, and a black. Now, I'm going to tell you one thing. If you have any sensitivities whatsoever to your skin, wear gloves. If you don't have sensitivity to your skin, you can use the white with no gloves, if you want to try that out. I've seen a lot of people not use gloves. It's been fine. It literally does. I don't have skin sensitivities, but it makes my hands itch. So I'm going to probably, well, I don't know. Maybe I should wear gloves today. But if you're going to use the black, you have to have gloves. You must have a surface that you can either throw away or clean thoroughly, because I'm going to show you the difference between the two. So let me pull out some gloves. Thank you for the birthday wishes, you guys. My birthday was on Monday. I got so many this year. I was just amazed. Alright, gloves, necessity for the black. I'm going to show you why. And then I'm going to throw the gloves away because we're not going to use black. Only because of time restraints. If I didn't have a time restraint, because we have it's a sale weekend, we have patron sale right after this, then I would go ahead and use the black and show you how to use it. But here's a piece that I made, and the black is in the center. And so that was black. And actually all of this was black except for these 3 buttons that I made with molds. You can put them in the molds. You can dry them in the mold. You just have to make sure that, hey Jamie, just have to make sure that it grows a little bit. Instead of shrinking, it actually poofs a little bit. All right, so there's another thing you need to think of. Wear gloves. It's going to expand a little bit. If you put it into the molds, make sure the molds are heat resistant up to a certain, at least 350 degrees, because then you're going to have to wait for that mold to cool down and that kind of stuff. Then I inserted them into the black, and then I heated up the black, and so everything stuck together. So it's all stuck together. I added some gems and things that I thought would be kind of fun in there. Tried coloring the buttons with Copics. I'm not fond of that. This is just a play piece. It could be hung from a necklace, but it's not my favorite. I was just playing around to see what this stuff could do. So here's the black. I'm not using black today, as I just said, if you're just coming in. The black is sticky and it's greasy and it's going to get all over everything. So here I just pulled it out, and do you see my finger? It's like working with tar. Alright, so if I roll it around and I try to make something out of it, guess what? Do you see it? It's everywhere. It's literally everywhere. It's not hard to work with. I mean, you can make it into stuff. It's just that this black is going to get all over everything. So keep that in mind. If you purchase the black, that you're going to want to have some kind of a surface that you can work on it, where you can either throw it away or it's a non-stick, very, very cleanable surface. I'm going to roll this up a little bit. Make it kind of a little black calla lily type deal. But anyway, I'm just playing around with it. So, and now I'm going to have to get it back in here. If you're using the black, make sure you use gloves. Make sure you have everything cleanable. And then just tuck everything inside and throw it away. Okay? And that's what I did with my black one. I literally did it right on this blue mat, so you can tell it all cleaned up. It did warp my mat, but after everything cooled down, my mat went back to the same shape. But I would highly suggest that you use a slick mat. I'm going to switch to using this one today because it's slicker than my silicone one, which is kind of sticky. So I'm going to move everything out of the way, even though I'm only using the white one. Because there is a very sticky, gooey feeling to this, in my opinion. You're going to want to wash your hands thoroughly afterwards. You're going to want some baby wipes around, so I'm going to tuck those under here, and some clear embossing powder and some fun stuff to add on. So I'm going to show you how to add some of that stuff, because guess what? It's so hot, we won't even need our gun for the beginning part. We'll be able to put stuff on it, and it's going to go ahead and emboss with the heat of us heat setting it. So I'm going to use the gray today. I hope that doesn't affect anybody too much. It shouldn't. We'll get a little bit of a glare, but that's okay. I think I'm just going to go ahead and not use gloves. Yeah, we met the guy who created this stuff. He is a fun guy. What I'm going to try to make today is, do you see already the sticky stuff that's going on the mat here? You can see it. Somebody said it was more like a putty. It is kind of a putty, but it's not going to be like super smooth. I found that trying to get stuff super detailed is not always the best thing. I'm going to try to make a small jar and then decorate it. That's just what I'm going to try to do today. We'll see how it works. I found that if you try to smash this on here, because I was thinking, oh, I could use this and I could roll it. If I use this, then I'm going to have to clean it all off, and it might stick to that. So I'm just not going to. I'm just going to go ahead and make this as flat as I can just by using my fingers. How much comes in the bag? This one is an 8-ounce bag, so you get a great big hunk of 8 ounces. It's quite a lot. You can get a 16-ounce bag, so you can get a pound of it, and then you can get a small 4-ounce bag. Right now, the only ones that we're carrying, we're going to do pre-orders, so I'm sure some of you guys are going to want this cool stuff. But right now, all we have is white and black in 8-ounce bags. I'm pretty sure they're all 8-ounce. So I have this kind of a shape. This is kind of what I want. I'm going to make a small jar. My hands are already extremely sticky. It smells a little bit during the burning process, but honestly, I like the smell of it. I like the whole experience. The clay itself, there's an odor, but it's not offensive, and it doesn't bother me at all. I'm going to try to get just a little bit off of here. If you have your hands a little bit wet from a baby wipe, then you can do a little bit of smoothing, but I wouldn't add a lot of water or anything to this. I'm going to get out my craft knife. I set it to the side. I'm going to try to cut this into my jar shape. Now, mind you, I did look ahead of time to see if I could find, oh, you know what? A stamp is what I was trying to spit out here. This one I did with a stamp. Check this out. And then I put all kinds of stuff underneath it underneath that glaze, because I wanted to see what you could all put underneath it. Now, we're going to be using embossing powder to make our glaze today. I'm not pressing real hard with this because I definitely don't want to cut my mat, but I do want a general shape here. I've never worked with polymer clay. I never have. I've worked with some air clay that was like super light and poofy, which is absolutely nothing like this. But I would have to say that this is probably nothing like polymer clay either, because this is really sticky, and I don't think polymer clay is super sticky. So I'm just rubbing my hand on a baby wipe and trying to get this into some kind of a shape here. So I don't want it to be real edgy. And I need it to smoosh just a little bit at the top. And then I'm going to try to make a cover. So we want some kind of a cover on there. Now, I'm not a total genius at this yet because I'm still in the experimentation mode. So if you do have any questions, let me know. I'll answer them to the best of my ability. I just think it is so cool. I mean, I could spend all day just messing around with this stuff. There's my little top, and I'm going to put a couple of little markings in here. Not at all a perfect jar. Should have got something to look at. I'm going to pop this stuff back in the bag. Here's another really cool thing about this. It can be if you have hot hands. Yeah, I wish I could tell you the difference, but I don't know. So let's say you're working on this and then you leave this out and you forget all about it and you come back tomorrow. Will this be a dried lump of nothing? No, it absolutely not. The owner said that he literally has this stuff sitting in his garage and had it open for like 5 years and it's still ready to use. So you can leave the thing open, you can leave this sitting overnight. Let's say, well, I'm not really sure I want to do that yet, and walk away from it and come back whenever and then do your project. Now, I don't think I'm going to try to get this off the mat yet. I use this little cricket thing just to make sure that I'm not totally stuck to the mat, because I just want to make sure that it's going to come off. And I'm going to try to get the side smooth there. That's about as much as I'm going to mess with it. It's my little jar. Alright. So, now the only thing that we have to do, I'm going to get a couple of things ready. I want to put on a couple of these little sparklets. We sell these, so some of you guys have already seen them. I want to put on a few of those, so I'm going to open this up. And I'm thinking these are pink and those are blue. I kind of want to do blue. And probably adding on, not that color though, sailboat blue and a metallic mixative silver. Hopefully the silver on the top and the blue on the glassy bottom with some of the gems. And then I also have these. These are new in the store. They're literally called, let's see, foil flakes. They're $5.99. Anyways, I super loved these. I wanted to have them. So I got this one. I'm hoping to add a few of these. We'll see how it goes. And then also I have clear embossing powder, because that's what I'm going to use to get things to stick on here. Although you can use glues and paints, acrylic paints, alcohol inks, whatever you want to use after it's dried to color it is totally up to you. Alcohol inks will dry quicker, which is why I just picked those up today. Now we're going to go ahead and heat set this. All you have to do is heat set it from one side until you see a whiff of smoke. As soon as you see the whiff of smoke, you just turn it off and watch it. You probably will not be able to see it from where you're looking, but there will be a little line as it like grows across the piece. There'll be a little line until it gets to the other side, because once it gets to a certain heating point, the chemical reaction makes the clay fire itself. So it'll go through the whole piece of clay without you having to do it all. You just have to like get it started. So here we go. It's going to take a minute. Okay, I don't think you can see. The whiff of smoke came up and that line's already going across my cover. I'm going to make sure that, and I can smell it. I actually really like the smell. If you don't, you could do it outside, I suppose. So this part over here, it's already hardened. Do you hear that? It's working its way across. This stuff down here is still soft, which means it didn't start on this edge, so I'm going to give it a little bit more heat over here. Okay, I think you can see it in there. Do you see this line that's going like kitty corner right here? This piece came up. I'm going to push it down. Do you see this line that's going in a little circle right here, half circle? It's going this way across. Do you see it? You can see the little whiff of smoke, and you can watch it traveling. This piece keeps lifting up. I don't know if it's going to stick. I've never done this one before. Let me just hold it down with this and see if it'll work. I might have to glue that piece on. It'll be okay. It's almost to the edge of this. Look at it lift up. And it's almost to the edge of here. This is all hard already. This whole corner is still soft. But it's almost done. That is so funny that this part did that. I might have to glue that on. There's a little bit of corner there left. I think you could probably see that. It's just about ending. Now, I'm going to try adding a little bit of embossing powder because this thing should still be super hot. And as soon as that hits there, it's already turning into a glaze. It's already glazed up. It's already totally glazing. So I'm going to go ahead and add just a couple little things to here. You can, be really careful about what you add and where you add it if you want. Some of this right here is not. So I'm just going to give it a little push. The chemical reaction is the only thing that causes it to smoke. It's not burning or anything like that. It's just the chemical reaction and what's happening there. So I'm going to put a little bit more on there and hopefully that will continue. If it stops heating up, if it's not hot enough, you just take your heat gun to it and go over it again. No big deal. I'm going to leave a little bit of that blank so that I can get some of the alcohol ink on there, although that should ink over that glaze too, I think. That piece is still pretty super hot. I'm going to let that cool a little bit. And not all my embossing folder or embossing powder is like melting here yet, so we can add. I'm moving some of my little pieces around where I want them. We can add more, and we can add heat. So I'm going to do this because I don't want all that powder to blow around, so I'm going to use this one because it's a little bit less of a forced heat. Now that it's mostly heated, I'm going to go into a higher one. All right, you can keep adding more and more as you want to. Just making sure that that comes off. I want to hold it up and see if maybe I can get you to see most of it. See how that is, whoops, it's very durable too, which is why I'm not worried about it falling, because it probably will not break. It's supposed to be 10 times stronger than polymer clay. I just think it's probably still too hot to touch. So let's go ahead and see if this one is getting a little bit cooler. I'm going to go ahead and put the mixative on there. I'm going to make this silver. I'm just going to use the tip for now, but you can use, paintbrush or whatever you want to do to get yours all over the piece. Hey, Christine G. So this all should be able to be scrubbed off, which is why I can take this to my sink and wash it off now if I want. I can put the cover on my jar. It's still kind of warm in the middle, but for the most part, it's gotten pretty cooled off. So I really feel like we get a lot more fun stuff in there. You could get little pieces of paper of like little fairies and stick it on there, or little vines, stuff like that. I think that I really want to put like some of these little guys on there. So I'm going to take this one out. And before I add more, I'm going to heat this up. Hopefully this won't blow all over the place. I'm going to heat this up so this stuff starts getting wet. Add a little bit more and then sprinkle some on. That looks so cool. A lot of it was blowing around, as you noticed, but I was like, I'm not going to stop because it's working out really well. Do you see the drips and the dots and stuff too? So cool. It looks so much more shinier and cooler in real life, what they always do, don't they? This looks really cool. I think I'm going to pop this on a little bit higher. It makes it look a little bit more... See, my jar should have been a little bit longer. You're supposed to be able to... Let's give this a shot. There is a garage sale tomorrow, yep. So, you're supposed to be able to put them together and add on and do sculptures and add on and smooth them together, and then, which is why I'm super surprised that my cap popped off. But here is what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to smoosh this onto here. Not make it too crazy obvious that I added that piece. It's still hot down here because I just heated it, so if I'm looking like I'm being kind of a pansy, that's why. So let's go ahead and just smooth that on. Okay. And then trigger this, hopefully squash that down so that it will stick. It'll be taller, it'll look more like a jar. So let's go ahead and see if we can attach this. And I'm going to do the process from the back here so we can see it work. I'm really hoping that this takes this time. Like I said, it poofs up a little bit, so you don't get perfect lines and exact science. So let's go ahead and see if we can. I'm going to push this back a bit so that when it poofs up, it doesn't come out the top. We don't want to see that. All right. And let's see if we can get this part adhered together. So here we go. I'm going to move a few things out of the way just so we don't have this stuff all blowing more further and further away from my project. Cool. All right, so this line right here is the part that we want to watch for. Ready? There it goes. Sometimes you don't get the puff of smoke. Well, there's the smoke coming up, just a little bit. This part over here is already hard. And it's going across the top. It's already here. And it's moving really slowly this way. So it's right here. I don't know if you can see that one as clearly as the first one we did. It's about right there. This stuff is still sticky on the end here, but it's hard right there and it's still moving. It's slowing down. Nope. I'm gonna give it a little help. He said it should never stop, but I'm impatient. It's still sticky. That one is too. There it goes. Ooh, I saw the line run. Shoo! Yep. Yep, all the way to... We have a little bit of part up here that I smooshed out that didn't harden. There, it found it. And it'll eventually get to that piece right there. We'll just let it sit. Okay, this part is still cool because that was the part we heated. So I'm going to flip it over and see how we did. It did not come up to the front and get the little tiny pieces I smooshed, so I'm going to make sure to heat that too. If you can see it, as soon as it goes, it just, whew. Now that's hard already. So instant gratification, you guys. This is such a cool thing. And I mean, I could just mess around and play with this all day. I wanted to put a little ribbon around there. I still can. I pulled out a few of those. This stuff is really fun. Like, I put a whole bunch on there, and this thing is still full. If you're worried about things flying around, go ahead and put yours in one of the splat boxes. And that way, anything that flies off is just going to end up in your little box, so you can just dump it out. I have some stuff right here that I'm just dumping off the edge. Some bits and pieces that didn't make it in there. If you have Beauty, which is ultra thick embossing enamel, not like this, but coarse like salt, you can put that on there too. It can't be overheated because I believe you can reheat it and sculpt on top of it. Excuse me, I got the burps today. I think you just keep going over and over and over again. I have with this one, and it still seems to be perfectly fine. So no, I don't believe you can overheat it. I think as much as we're going to be heating it for this kind of purpose, I mean, it's cool. And it looks cool. It's so pretty. I'm going to tie a little thing around there, but I want to make sure that that's a little bit cooler before I do that. So let me move these guys out of the way. I used this one for the big black piece just to smoosh it out because I wanted it to look like it was dug out. Now, if you want something that looks like it's more dug out, like a bowl or whatever, make it really pronounced because whatever's in the bottom is going to poof up like a marshmallow or like a quilt. It's just going to poof. So I can't stress that enough. You're not going to get exactly what you started out with. There's going to be some, it's kind of like working with alcohol inks. You don't know exactly where they're going to go. You can kind of move them that way, but they're just going to happen the way they happen. So you can make beads with this. I don't have one of this. Yes, I do. I thought I was going to be running out of time already, but while that's heating, or cooling, I mean, I'll show you how to make little beads. But you guys are going to want to get your hands on this stuff. It is so stinking cool, and you don't have to wait. It's like the Shrinky Dinks. You don't have to wait for this stuff to be put in a kiln, and then, you know, the next day then you have to do this, and the next, you can glaze it and heat it and do it all in one step. So I made a couple of beads. On here I've got a couple of skewers on top of my little box here. So all I did was make my bead however big I wanted it. I took one of my skewers, there we go, and I just stuck it right through the bead. Twisted it until it went through, and did it from the other side just to make sure there was a nice strong hole there, so that was it. So then after that hardens, you can paint it, decorate it, glue things to it, whatever you want to do. Alcohol ink it. So let's go ahead and heat that up too. Oh, and there it goes. See the whiff of smoke? I think you can really see that one. Yep. And it'll smoke a little bit as it goes through the clay. That's not an issue. It's already hard on this side. If I flip it over, we'll be able to watch the line come across the top, I believe. Oh, the whole thing is already done. That went really fast. Yeah, it's finished. That was really quick. Looks like a big fat Cheerio. And then, obviously you're going to want to let it cool because you don't want your skewer to catch on fire. It's 350 degrees. But I just put it back on the skewer a little bit like this, painted it and did whatever I want, and then stuck it back in my box so that it just stood and dried. That's it. We could probably alcohol ink that baby. Let's do sailboat blue. Oh, it's still super hot. I forgot about that. It's like frying it. That's crazy. Let's do it on the other side anyway. That's so cool. All right. I need another baby wipe. So as you can see, I did this without gloves. But like I said with the black one, you're going to have some. And I'm going to need some alcohol ink to get that off of there. What's another color that'll go with blue? Should we try yellow? Let's see if I have a yellow close by. Ooh, a pearlized yellow. Also, if you want this to be like stark white, because right now you can notice that it's not a perfect white, it's making it look really yellow in the camera. It's not that yellow. It looks white on my side. But here, this one's a pearlized yellow. This is going to be a cool looking bead. Look at that. I did sailboat blue and a pearlized yellow, and that's what I got for my bead. That's really neat. I'm going to go ahead and stick that in my box, and that will just sit there and... Yeah, it's just warm to the touch. It's not going to hurt anything. It's not going to start my skewer on fire or anything like that. I'm going to move this out of the way. I made a mess of that yellow. Ooh, did I make a mess? It's all over the place. Let's see if this alcohol will help me clean off my mat a little bit. Some of this stuff that stuck was that extra embossing powder that fell off the side, so I'm just scraping it off. That's all it is. So like I said, if you're afraid that you're going to wreck something that you're working on, use something that you don't always work on. Get yourself a slick surface like this one. I never use this. I just have it laying around for projects, so it's okay with me that it got dirty. So now that this is almost dry, do you guys have any other questions? Are you like super excited about this? Could you smoosh the inks, then roll the beads through the inks? Absolutely, yeah, you can. Yep. You could put them in a box and roll them like marbles. That'd be fun. Put inks all over and then roll them. That would be super fun. I'm going to pull out, try to see if maybe I have like a blue. Yeah, I got blues here. Do we have a ribbon that would look really cute on here? Like maybe this one? This would look so cute. I'm going to go ahead and do this, and then I'm just going to double knot it instead of trying to make a bow fit in there. Go ahead and do that. Double knot it. Oh, that's my cat. I'm like, what's making that noise? It's my kitty cat. Oh, cute. Is some of this stuff falling off? I may not have heated it hard enough, long enough. Make sure you heat your stuff long enough. I put a lot of layers on there. I probably should have heated it more. There we go. So there's my little jar all finished up. Super cute. Oh my gosh. Alright, you guys. Well, that is the end of that. Do you guys want to see more, like, different things that we can do with this clay? Because I could come up with a lot more ideas and fun things that we can do. I hope that you're hyped up because we are going to be selling this. It is so awesome. How could we not, right? We try to get the coolest stuff in. Yeah, I just pulled out alcohol inks. Of course, you can do them in molds like this. Yeah, glue it to the back and make it a refrigerator magnet. Cool idea. You know what? Let me do one of these. I should have done this in the beginning and let it sit and cool because these are the hardest ones to do. But I can't leave you without doing one of these. So let's just go ahead and do the medium one. So smoosh this into here. Okay, and that's why I bring out this little guy too. I love this. This helps me scrape things off. And then you can just push it into there. Now, you don't, like I said, it's going to grow a little bit. So it's better to have not quite enough than to have too much. And if you go, if we go down enough, I think we'll have the holes in the button too. Let me see if I can just scrape it down. And hopefully it'll leave the holes in there because I think that would be really cute. All right, I got to do this one too. I want you guys to see this. There it goes. Darn camera. Darn it, you. Oh, I really wanted you guys to see the line. But I think it's done. Shootski. It's not though. Okay. Oh, it went, but it's so small it went really fast. I'm going to give it a second though to make sure that it gets to the bottom. Yeah, they had some crazy cool stuff, you guys, like really big stuff. I'm not all about big because I do cards, but you know, you could get bags of that, big bags, and just make huge things. This is going to be super hot, but I'm going to try to, I should be able to pop it out for you. Do you see that? I don't want to break it. It's mostly those little holes that, like I said, it gets bigger, not smaller. Oh, it did. It come out. Okay, cool. There we go. Now we have our own button. Look at that. Isn't that cool? That's one of the buttons that I put on here. That's this one. Only I put too much on it, so there wasn't any holes. Now you can see the difference. Isn't that neat? So fun and so instant. So instant. Like, I could even put that little button on there if I wanted to now. I could glue it on there. Isn't it cool? Oh my gosh, you guys, like, so I could just sit and do this all night. Look. Very cool. So if you are a patron, you're going to get first dibs on that, and then we are going to do pre-order because I just wasn't sure how many of you guys were going to be like, I have to have that stuff. Because when we saw it, we were like, yeah, we totally need that stuff. Alright, I'm going to leave you with that. There's a lot of cool things you can do with it. If you want yours like fully glazed, just keep adding UD or whatever. This one was stamped with a flower. So you can stamp on it, you can write on it, you can color it. This one, oh, I was going to put the powders in there too. Oh, shootski, I forgot about the powders. Where are they? They're powders made for this, but they look just like perfect pearls. But they don't rub off. Like, I kneaded my clay into the powders, which made them a lot easier to work with because that was black clay. And I kneaded the powder into it, and then I intertwined the two snakes that I made. And then I made that around the big black center part. But you see how this part right here, this poofed way up here? I had it like a concave, and it just poofed up like a cinnamon roll. But anyway, play around with it. It is so cool. I do love the jar too. Didn't know what I was doing here. I just wanted to play around with it and see if they would stick together, and they definitely did. So lots of fun, you guys. Now, if you are a patron and you're here for the patron only sale, it's going to happen as soon as I sign off here, but not here on YouTube. It's going to be in our private group, so make sure you meet me there for the sale. That's tonight from 6 to 7. Tomorrow is open to everybody. If you've never been to one, come, because there's going to be tons and tons of new product, and obviously used and lovingly used products, but there's going to be a lot of new product because tons of things came in. So if you're waiting for pre-orders, most likely almost 100% of all the pre-orders came in as well. So alright, I'm going to let you guys go. I hope that you guys that you enjoyed this, and that you'll get some of this clay and have a blast just like I have, and then share all your tips and tricks with me when you find out all kinds of cool things that you can do with it, because I cannot wait to see you guys next video.